Show. I am privileged this morning to talk with the recruiter guy, aka Bill Humbert. How are you doing this morning?
Super, Kelly. Thank you.
Well, I'm holding up this book because I just learned you are nearly sold out.
About 30 more copies out of 5,000, and then I'm done. So it's really close to being done. I'm really excited, and you know, we're working on the next book.
So how many copies have you sold? Nearly sold out means what?
Well, we printed 5,000 copies of that, and then it's also on Kindle. So we're very close to 5,200 copies being sold.
Wow. Wow. And I understand you kind of have a busy month ahead of you. You're traveling.
I am. I'm speaking at the University of Iowa at noon on November 16th. And we're talking on Make Your Company Roar, Recruit, Onboard, and Retain. And then that
real fast, I just want like a quick bullet point of some of those. I mean, how do you make your company roar?
Do a good job with the recruiting process.
Okay.
And then onboard the people, do a good job with your onboarding. Most times it's go to one thing now. But if you do it in the right way, which takes a little bit more time, but people are going, what kind of a cool company do I work for?
Really?
And then you retain those people. So that's how you make your company roar. You recruit the right ones, you onboard them and let them know they're welcome, and then you retain them.
And that's at the University of Iowa?
That's at the University of Iowa.
Okay, you're also traveling to?
Co-college that evening at 6:30, and I'm speaking to 50 students on secrets of a successful job search.
I want to know. Anytime there's like secrets in a phrase, I want to know, right?
That's right. And I'll talk to you later about that.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
And then actually Friday morning, I'm speaking to a group of Iowa high school students who are in an entrepreneurship program. And with them, I'm talking about how to create a deal pitch for an early stage startup.
Wow, lots of good topics in just really a short amount of time. You're going to be busy.
Busy and having fun, yeah.
Yes, and sharing secrets that I don't get to know now. Ah, the suspense. Yeah. Well, let's get into the interview because I think this is such a good time. You say this is the best time to be looking for a job. Is that right?
Absolutely. And think about it, the psychology of it. The common wisdom, first of all, is Thanksgiving to Christmas is terrible. People aren't available, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Actually, they are available. And think about this. Budgets are now done.
Okay.
January 2nd, they can start bringing people on board in the new budget. Managers are starting to process that, especially the best managers, the top 10%. They're thinking, I'm going to pick and choose the ones that I want right now and get them started on the 2nd so I can have them for the full year.
So you think at this time of the year, they've already feel good about their numbers. So they're kind of already thinking, okay, well, we hit our numbers, we don't have to worry too much, let's start thinking about the future?
Yes.
Really? At what point do they feel comfortable with their numbers and they're stop stressing out about this year?
Well, they pretty much know right now, today, what the year, you know, the year trends, and they know either December is going to be a month that drops or December is going to be a month that raises. But they know what the trend is going to be.
Right.
So they're comfortable with those numbers. They know what their budget number is and how many people they can bring on board. It might be one person, it could be 5, it could be 100. You know, it depends on the company.
Yeah, that's really good to know. I would think that companies are stressing out about hitting their numbers, and so they're like, we can't think about that yet. But just the opposite.
The top level, the best managers are the ones that are thinking about growing a team as opposed to bringing people on. And so those people are the ones that will attract the best people right now. So they're the ones actually that you want to go to work for, right?
Yes, of course. Well, if we're all looking for new jobs, that means we have to network. What if I don't know how to network? What's your advice?
Kelly, you've been networking your entire life. You just didn't know there was a word to describe it.
Explain yourself. Explain, Bill.
Kelly, as a child, how many times did you go, where'd you get that?
Probably way too many, according to my parents.
Right, that's networking.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
you say it to your friends, you say it to your parents, you say it to, you know, or even a stranger. You're in a toy store and you see another child with something, you go, oh, where'd you get that?
I want that.
Right.
So in an adult scenario where you're looking for, you know, a job, are you supposed to be open about that? Or are you supposed to tell them, hey, this is on the down low, I'm looking for a job, so they feel like they're in the in?
In the end, it depends. You know, if you're out of work and looking for a job, hey, between us, I just want to tell you, I'm looking for a job right now. You might be able to help me. Can we chat sometime about what it is that I've done, some of my accomplishments, and maybe who you can think of who I should speak with next?
Really? And so what kind of scenarios is best to approach those people?
Anytime.
Anytime?
Yeah, even at Christmas parties.
Really?
Yeah.
You would suggest that?
Sure.
Bringing business up at a party?
It's not business, that's personal for you.
That's true. If you're giving them in on a secret, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how do you ask for names? How do you ask for the next step?
Excuse me. Most people have a little bit of an issue with that. And the thing to do, though, is just to understand that people want to help you. For the most part. There are a couple Scrooges out there, but for the most part, people want to help you. And all you're trying to do is plug into their network.
Okay.
And so you just say, you give them what I call in my book, your Here I Am speech. It's also called a 1-minute commercial or elevator speech.
Right.
And then you say, who do you know that I should speak with next?
And if they give you a name, what do? Do you contact that person right away?
Yep. You call them right away and you just say, you know, I was talking to Kelly and she told me that you were the right person for me to speak with. Is this a good time to chat?
Yeah, it sounds a little intimidating, but I guess if this is what you want to do and you want to move on, this is how you do it.
This is how you do it. It's a professional way of doing it.
Well, what other advice do you have for us as a recruiter guy?
Well, I'll give you proof that this is the best time. I introduced a woman to ComSat Labs in Maryland back in the 80s, and they wanted to interview her Christmas Eve in the morning.
That sounds interesting.
And so she drove down from Baltimore to Gaithersburg, actually Germantown, and interviewed with them in the morning. They liked her so much, they invited her immediately following to the little group potluck. And while she was at the potluck, the managers talked about her, and they invited her into the office before she left, extended her an offer.
Wow.
Christmas Eve day. And
Is this a real story?
this is an absolute real story.
Okay, all right.
And she called me Christmas night and said, hey, Bill, I've got a little Christmas present for you. I accept the position at ComSat.
Oh my gosh. Perfect example.
And then
Perfect
she's-
example.
Yep, she started, second week of January.
Just like you said.
Yep.
Well, wow. I'm excited. Well, I am totally shocked by this stat that this is a good time to be looking for a job. Bill, thank you so much for letting me in on the secret.
Have to do it sometimes, Kelly.
All right, and I do want to know the secrets of the talk that you're going to be giving at Co-College, okay? So we're going to talk after this interview?
We can talk.
All right, good. Bill, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right, we do have a lot more coming up on the Mountain Morning Show, including a talk with the NAC. That's coming up.